There are moments in history when the sky becomes more than just a ceiling above our heads. Moments when ancient observers, mystics, and spiritual traditions all looked upward and said the same thing. Something important is happening. Tonight may be one of those moments. Across cultures and across centuries, the sky has always been seen as a mirror of the unseen world. The movement of celestial bodies was never considered random. It was believed to be a language, a silent communication between the universe and human consciousness. And tonight, something unusual is forming above us. You may not see flashing lights or hear thunder from the heavens. In fact, most people will go through this night exactly like any other. They will scroll their phones, watch television, and fall asleep without noticing anything different. But those who are sensitive to energy, those who pay attention to patterns, those who understand the subtle language of timing, may feel something shifting. A pressure, a pull, a strange feeling that something is changing. Throughout ancient history, moments like this were described as cosmic alignments. These were periods when planetary positions, lunar phases, and energetic cycles overlapped in ways that created what mystics called a portal, not a physical doorway in the sky, but a temporary opening in the energetic fabric of reality. A moment when consciousness becomes more sensitive. A moment when the boundary between thought and manifestation becomes thinner. A moment when people either evolve or repeat old patterns. Right now, many people around the world are reporting unusual experiences. Some feel sudden waves of emotion that appear without reason. Some are having vivid dreams that feel more real than normal. Others feel restless, unable to focus on ordinary routines. These sensations may seem random, but they are often reported during periods of strong cosmic influence. And here is where it becomes interesting. Ancient astronomers believe that certain alignments act like amplifiers. They do not create emotions or thoughts inside us. Instead, they magnify what is already there. If someone carries fear, that fear may feel stronger. If someone carries clarity, that clarity may sharpen. If someone is standing at a crossroads in life, these moments often push them toward a decision. It is almost like the universe gently turning up the volume on our inner voice. Many spiritual traditions believe that nights like this serve a specific purpose. They interrupt routine. They break automatic patterns. They create moments where people suddenly pause and ask deeper questions. Questions like, why am I doing what I'm doing? Am I living the life I actually want? Or am I just repeating the same cycle every day? This is why cosmic events were never only about astronomy. They were about awareness. For thousands of years, civilizations built monuments aligned with the sky. Structures like Stonehenge, ancient temples, and pyramids that were precisely positioned to interact with certain celestial events. The people who built those structures believed that the sky was not just decoration. It was a clock, a guide, a reminder that human life moves in cycles. And when certain cycles peak, something inside people begins to awaken. If you pay attention to history, you will notice something fascinating. Periods of major cultural change often occur during unusual celestial alignments. New ideas emerge. Old systems collapse. Individuals who once felt invisible suddenly step forward and change the direction of history. Of course, skeptics will say this is coincidence, but the pattern appears again and again. And tonight, many observers believe we may be entering one of those energetic windows. Not everyone will feel it. In fact, most people won't notice anything at all. But some will. Those who are already sensitive to subtle shifts may feel an unusual clarity tonight. Others may feel emotional turbulence, like something inside them is being stirred. This is why ancient teachings always gave the same advice during cosmic turning points. Be aware of your thoughts. Because during energetic amplification, thoughts can behave like seeds planted in fertile soil. Whatever is planted grows faster. Fear grows faster. But intention grows faster too. That is why mystics considered these nights powerful opportunities. Not because something magical suddenly appears in the sky, but because people become more conscious. And when consciousness rises even slightly, everything begins to look different. You start noticing patterns you ignored before. You start recognizing behaviors that no longer serve you. You start feeling a quiet urge to change direction. And sometimes, that urge appears suddenly, like a whisper from somewhere deep inside. Some people ignore it. Others listen. The difference between those two choices can shape entire lives. There is also another strange phenomenon reported during strong cosmic cycles. Synchronicities increase. Small coincidences begin appearing more often. You think about someone, and they message you. You hear the same phrase repeated by different people. You stumble across information that feels strangely relevant to your current situation. Psychologists often explain this as selective attention. Spiritual traditions describe it differently. They say synchronicity is what happens when inner awareness and external events begin to move in rhythm. And nights like this sometimes act as catalysts for that rhythm. It is not about believing or disbelieving. It is about observing. Tonight, pay attention to what you feel. Pay attention to the thoughts that appear when everything becomes quiet. Because sometimes the most important signals are not loud. They are subtle. They appear as quiet realizations. A moment of clarity. A sudden understanding about something that has been confusing for a long time. If that happens tonight, do not ignore it. Moments of insight often appear when the mind briefly steps out of routine thinking. Cosmic events, full moons, and planetary alignments have historically been associated with these psychological shifts. Not because the sky controls us, but because it influences the rhythms of our environment. Just as the moon moves the tides of the ocean, many ancient thinkers believe celestial cycles also affect the tides of human emotion and attention. Modern science still debates this idea, but the experiences people report remain remarkably consistent. Heightened dreams, stronger intuition, unexpected realizations. Some will dismiss these experiences, others will explore them, and those who explore often discover something surprising. The sky has always been more than just distant stars. For ancient observers, it was a living calendar of transformation, a reminder that everything in existence moves through phases. Expansion, contraction, beginning, ending. Tonight may be one of those transitional moments, a pause between cycles, a brief opening where people who are paying attention may recognize something important about themselves. Not everyone will. Many will move through this night exactly like yesterday. But for a small percentage of people, something will click. They will feel a sudden urge to change a habit, to start something new, to leave something behind, to move toward a direction they had been hesitating about for months, or even years. These turning points rarely feel dramatic when they happen. They feel quiet, subtle, almost ordinary. But later, when people look back, they realize that a single decision made during a moment of clarity changed everything. That is the strange power of awareness. And sometimes, the sky seems to play a role in triggering it. Tonight is not about predicting the future. It is about recognizing possibility. Because when the universe presents moments of amplified awareness, the real question is not what is happening in the sky. The real question is what is happening inside you. Are you paying attention? Or are you moving through life on autopilot? Moments like this quietly test that difference. They separate those who observe from those who ignore, those who reflect from those who repeat. So tonight, if you step outside and look up at the sky, do not just look at the stars. Listen to what your mind is telling you when everything becomes still. Because sometimes the most powerful signals in the universe are not written in the stars. They are written in the sudden clarity that appears inside your own awareness. And the people who notice those signals often become the ones who change the direction of their lives. Maybe tonight will feel normal. Maybe nothing unusual will happen. But if something inside you shifts, if you suddenly see your life from a slightly different angle, if you feel a quiet realization that was not there yesterday, then you know. I have just experienced something that ancient observers believed was the true purpose of cosmic alignments. Not spectacle, not fear, but awakening. A reminder that the universe is constantly moving, and every once in a while, It nudges us to move with it,